Good morning. And it's that time of year again, isn't it? The flowers are blooming, the sun's out, and we're heading towards summer. So us gamers are doing what we usually do at this time of year. We're hiding ourselves away, shutting the blinds and playing more games. And we're also getting excited because it's time for E3, or at least nearly time for E3. Just under a month away now, not very long at all. It's a bit of a weird one this year because obviously Sony aren't going to be there, but most of the other major players are. And the one I want to talk about this morning is Microsoft, and more specifically, Xbox. We've had some interesting stuff coming from Microsoft, and we all know their history over the last few years in terms of games. They've not done particularly well. So we're all crossing our fingers and hoping that we're going to see more from them this year. First off, let me talk about hardware and what I think we might be seeing in terms of hardware from them this year. Obviously, we're going to hear more about Anaconda and Lockhart. I would think we're going to probably see some sort of a reveal. We're certainly going to get some more in terms of the hardware under the hood. The rumours are that Anaconda is going to be even more powerful than the PS5, which is looking like a beast itself. So it's going to be a really exciting time come 2020 when these consoles are released, which is when I expect them to be released. And I think most people now think that these consoles are going to arrive in 2020. But as I say, we will get more about this at E3 from Microsoft. If we don't, I will eat my hat. I cannot believe that they won't give us more information about Anaconda and Lockhart at E3. Other hardware, I was looking into AR and VR. Will we hear more from Microsoft on AR at E3? I honestly doubt it. I think they're a long way off from bringing this to market in a big way, certainly not to the mainstream. So I don't think we'll hear much about that. Maybe, I don't know, maybe around the halls there might be something, but certainly not on stage. And as for VR, I don't think Microsoft are ready for that either. I think they're waiting to see how the market develops. And at the moment, the market's quite slow. So why would they dip into that? I don't think we're going to see much. Will we see anything in terms of controller, though? If we're getting more in terms of Anaconda and Lockhart, obviously new consoles come along. New console means new controller. Will we see anything about a new controller? I don't know. I don't think we will, to be honest. I think it's too early. I think we'll find out more about a new controller when the hardware is announced with a date, which will be next year. And when that happens, I actually do think we'll see some changes to the Xbox controller. Be a shame in a way, because I'd like to carry my Xbox Elite controller forward to the new generation. And maybe you will be able to do that too. But I have seen the stuff about the PlayStation controller and the new PlayStation controller having a little touch screen in the middle of the controller where the touchpad is at the moment. Whether that's true or not, I can't say. But it'd be interesting to see if Microsoft might go along that route as well. I don't know. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But given that Microsoft are trying to move to have all their games across lots of different platforms, it would make sense to have some sort of touch screen on the controller. So maybe we might see something about that, but I really don't think we'll see that at E3 this year. It would be handy for things like, games, strategy games, things like Command and Conquer, those type of games, RTS games. As I say, I don't think we'll see anything about that this year, and I'm not really thinking that we'll get that from Microsoft, but you never know. It's an interesting one to speculate. Let me know what you think about that one in the comments. Other stuff about hardware? Well, obviously, we're going to get some bundles and some special edition sales, that kind of thing. Nothing to write home about there. There's not going to be anything particularly new there. We're not going to be having prices for Anaconda and Lockhart. They're not going to be on sale till next year. So it's all going to be about the X, the S, and the SAD. They might, if they've got any sense, forget all about the SAD and not talk about it at all. We can live in hope, can't we? Moving on from hardware, though, which in itself is really exciting, I think that services are something that Microsoft has been putting a lot of effort into of late. And I think we're going to see more in terms of backwards compatibility. They're not going to make a big deal about that. That's something that's going to happen in discussions outside of the main stage. But there have been some rumours about forwards compatibility. And what that means is that new games will be available on, say, the X and the S. And that would be good for Microsoft because it would mean that they can carry their user base forward to the next generation without having to make people jump. For instance, in my case, I would be able to buy a new Xbox, an Anaconda, stick it in the lounge, and then I could give my X to my kid and he could take it upstairs and use the X. And buy the new games and they would work on the X as well. Whether they'll do that, I don't know, but that would be exciting if they did. And it would fit with what they're trying to do, like trying to make the consoles a bit like the phone generations, where you don't have to upgrade, but you get all the latest bells and whistles if you do. So that's interesting. I think we should keep our eyes open for that, because when they announce Anaconda and Lockhart, they may well talk a little bit about forwards compatibility if they are indeed going down that path. So that's one to watch out for. Obviously, we're going to hear more about Live and Game Pass, and they're merging Live and Game Pass and making it available more cheaply. That's already available for Insider program subscribers. If you go into the Insider app at the moment, you will already see that it's available and you can sign up to it now. So you've got Xbox Live and Game Pass together. So be interesting to see if they have more about that. I can't see that they wouldn't. They're going to push that hard. And then we're going to hear more about maybe Game Pass coming in some way to the Switch. Whether Microsoft announced that or whether Nintendo announced that, I don't know. But I wouldn't be at all surprised to see something. A lot of people are getting overhyped about this, though. I don't think it's going to be in such a big way as a lot of people think. I think Microsoft and Nintendo are doing this softly at the moment. We'll see something. But it's going to be a bit more low-key than I think a lot of people think it is. The other one that's going to be massive is Project Xcloud. We're going to get some big announcement about Project Xcloud. If we don't, again, I'm going to be really surprised on that. We've already seen Google with their Stadia. Microsoft want to keep up with that. So I would imagine they're going to drop something about Xcloud at E3. So keep your eyes peeled for that one as well. It might be made available to insiders for free, maybe, or for a cheaper fee. Can't imagine Microsoft would make it available for free, but you never know. They might as a sort of tester. But they're definitely going to do something with it this year, and E3 would seem to be the obvious place to announce it. And they're going to talk about that coming to phones and, maybe even possibly Switch as well. How that'll work, I don't know. Again, though, I don't think we should get too carried away on this because a lot of people are getting really excited and thinking that everything's going to be coming over to Switch and that Microsoft are going to make all their games available for Switch. It's not going to happen like that. If we get Gears or Halo or anything like that, they're not going to initially come across to Switch. Maybe we'll get some version of Gears coming across to Switch. I don't know. But let's not get too carried away here. There are limits to what can come over to Switch. Certainly in terms of the power that Switch has got, you can get past some of that with Xcloud if you're streaming it. But then again, that's only going to work in the home. It's not going to work on the move because the Switch hasn't got mobile capability in terms of online. You've got Wi-Fi, but you're not going to sit and play these games on the bus, are you? Moving on from the services, though, the thing that has really held Microsoft back over the last few years has been a lack of decent first-party games. And we all know about that. It's no surprise to anyone, but they have been making some moves. And we all know about the studio acquisitions. Last count, I made it 8 studios that they'd either acquired or created, with Playground Games, Undead Labs, Ninja Theory, Companion Games, In Exile, Obsidian, Compulsion Games, and then obviously creating The Initiative. So now we're getting rumours that they may be looking to buy more. And the heaviest rumour is that they're looking to acquire Relic Entertainment. And Relic Entertainment, for those of you who don't know, make Age of Empires. So that would be a perfect fit for Microsoft. And I wouldn't be at all surprised to see it announced at E3 along with some other studio acquisitions. I would be very surprised if we don't see more from Microsoft at E3 on this front. But it's all very well acquiring studios and creating studios. What we actually need is games. And I think, again, we need to be really careful not to get too carried away here. We know that Microsoft have acquired these studios, but how far along they are with development, we don't know. We do know that Ninja Theory are working on a game that is apparently a co-op sci-fi shooter, but that's not going to be coming this year. I think we will hear about it at E3 though. We'll hear something. That will come in 2020, and I wouldn't be at all surprised it'll be a release game with the new Xboxes, with Anaconda and Lockhart. But one of Microsoft's really big hitters, Forza, is not going to get released this year. We've already heard that Forza 8 isn't going to arrive, and that they're going to be concentrating on improving Forza 7 for the foreseeable future. They are working on Forza 8, but I doubt we'll hear anything about that at E3, which is, a departure for Microsoft, because we usually get some sort of Forza, either Forza Motorsport or Forza Horizon at E3, and that's not going to happen this year. And with the talk that Playground Games may actually be working on something else, and the the rumours are that they're working on Fable 4. We're obviously not going to be seeing anything about Forza Horizon 5 from them. And we wouldn't have expected to, because obviously we had Forza Horizon 4 last year. But will we see something about Fable? I think we might. I think we might hear something about Fable at E3. I'll be surprised again. If we don't hear something about Fable, I'll be quite surprised. And I think a lot of people will as well, because the rumours have been strong on this one, and they've been going around for a long time now. And Microsoft really needs something big to get fans excited on the games front. Great on hardware, great on services. Games-wise, it's been flat for years now. So they do need a win on this one. The other one I think we might hear something about is a new IP. I think we're going to hear something on that front. And I wouldn't be at all surprised that that's from the initiative. Again, this ain't coming this year. At the earliest, it will be next year, and probably even further down the line than that. But I wouldn't be at all surprised that we get some announcement of some new IP this year. It was already hinted that they were working on something last year. So something is coming from the initiative this year. I expect to hear or see something. Whether we get gameplay, footage, I don't know, maybe it'll be a little announcement trailer like we got for Halo Infinite last year. But that'll be all, very exciting. If they can come up with a new IP that's going to be a big hitter and an exciting game, then great. We need something from Microsoft on that front. But that's about it. We're going to get Gears. Whether Gears comes this year, I think probably we're going to get a Gears this year. Halo Infinite, earliest next year. And that's about it, as I say. I don't think there's going to be much else in terms of games. What the other studios are doing, who knows? Maybe we'll get some left field stuff. We'll get some surprises. And you guys can tell me in the comments what you think we might see that I haven't mentioned here. And as I say, let me know all about this in the comments. Let me know what you agree with on this one. Let me know what you disagree. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And all the usual stuff, subscribe, blah, 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 blah. I've got to do all this. But that's pretty much it. I don't think we can speculate much more than that. Well, you can. We could speculate about aliens landing on the conference hall as Microsoft are about to announce a new Destroy All Humans game. We could speculate about anything. But I think the stuff I've talked about is probably fairly realistic. Some of it's going to come true, isn't it? Some of it isn't. But as I say, it's exciting times, and I can't wait. I'm really excited for Anaconda and Lockhart. I'm really excited to see what Microsoft are doing with their services. And I'm kind of waiting with bated breath to see if they actually will produce some games. We can live in hope, can't we? As I say, let me know what you think in the comments, and we can have a chat as usual. And in the meantime, I'm off to make myself a cup of tea. Bye.